We got a 100-day season. A lot of guys hunt a lot of days, killing a lot of birds. But what they don't understand is if there's no birds, there's no point in coming out here and hunting. And without conservation, you're just not going to see that. The Sacramento Valley of California used to be just a giant mix of wetlands and riparian areas. And then obviously as humans have moved in, we've channelized the river, we've created a lot of farmlands, cities, stuff like that. So a lot of the natural wetlands and riparian areas have been turned into agricultural and urban areas. And so our local breeding waterfowl population has lost a lot of their natural habitat. So they resorted to nesting in agricultural fields. They have great cover. They're nice and green and luscious in the spring when the hens are looking to nest. And the rice fields in the valley provide great surrogate brood rearing habitat for the hens to take their babies to once they hatch. With that comes conflict with agricultural work. If a hen's nesting in a field and a farmer needs to get in there and either harvest or disc or mow or do what he needs to do, then it puts the nest in danger. How's it going? And so for decades, farmers have been salvaging eggs in this valley themselves. They made sure that their guys stopped, they'd get the eggs. There was a lot of little backyard hatcheries that farmers had set up to raise the ducklings and then release them. And in 2014, the California Waterfowl Association kind of took on the egg salvage program in hopes to kind of expand the efforts throughout the state and also make it easier for farmers to get the eggs out of the fields and to federally permitted hatchery facilities where they'll be hatched, raised, banded, and released. So right now we're out here in a fallowed rice field in Colusa County. This is enrolled in a program through the Rice Commission. CWA is contracted to come out here and search for duck nests. So we sweep the fields back and forth with 2 quads and a rope like you see, hoping to flush a hen. When we flush a hen, we'll get out and mark the nest, take a bunch of measurements on the vegetation. North, forward. Take a bunch of different data points, and then every week we'll come back and check these nests to see how the progress is doing, whether or not they hatch, they get depredated, if the hen's still there and she's incubating. Once nesting season's over, we summarize the data and submit it to the Rice Commission. Once we get the eggs out of the field, they're taken to one of those hatcheries. They're candled, so we look into the egg to make sure they're not rotten, make sure that the embryo is healthy, and also get an idea of how far along in the incubation period the eggs are. The eggs are then put on incubator trays, and once they start to pip, so they'll start cracking the egg, we take them out of the incubator and put them in a hatcher, which is basically an incubator but with a different style of tray to allow the ducklings to hatch easier. So once we move the ducklings over to the big side, we leave them in there until they're fully feathered, which is typically around 5 weeks of age. And then once a week, our waterfowl program's crew goes up to the hatcheries. We band the ducklings, we record their sex, the date, and the place that we're releasing them, put them in crates, and take them out to various wetlands and rice fields throughout the valley where we release them and wish them the best.
I've been working with California Waterfowl Association for probably the last 8 years. Ever since I kind of took helm here at the ranch and the farming operations, combined my love for waterfowl and conservation, and then learned that the landscape here is something I could give back, right? So kind of the Western code is, leave something better than when you found it.
Driving by a field, watching it all spring, and being like, that's a good field, and then one day driving by and seeing it completely harvested, and I wasn't able to get to the harvester to stop them, and it just drives me to get out there, check fields every day, make sure I'm getting as many eggs as possible. It's just, I care about the ducks.